Hey everyone, Rob here, and I actually got some updates that occurred throughout the night. I mean, it was a busy night in terms of the earthquake activity and potential volcano that's been going on in the Reykjanes Peninsula yet again, 3 years in a row. And you can see it here on VCR. So it's the headline. The largest earthquake was a 5.0 magnitude in size. Now, a number of powerful earthquakes in the Reykjanes Peninsula were hitting around midnight and after midnight. At around 1:24, there was an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.7. It was around 3 kilometers north of Grindavik, and then there was a bunch of other earthquakes that went from there. 3 earthquakes over magnitude of 3, ranging from 3.4 to 4.1. I think they're still being analyzed. But the biggest one of the night was a magnitude 5.0, which struck at 12:46 last night, and it was 4.6 kilometers northwest of Grindavik and measured at a depth of 3 kilometers. So if we want to take a look at where that is, let me just do this. We go down to Grindavik, which is down here. Northwest is in the area that we have been talking about near the Blue Lagoon. Now, all of this earthquake information is, of course, coming from Veðurstofa Íslands, which is the meteorological agency of Iceland. And if we look at the table, we go to numbers of 3 or higher. Sorry, let's switch this to English for everyone. If we go to the earthquakes and we take a look at the Reykjanes Peninsula, now we can, of course, see this graph at the bottom here showing that we have some that hit 5.0. All of these stars are a magnitude of 3 or greater. And then if we go to the table and we go to a magnitude of 3 or larger, we can see that there was quite some activity that occurred throughout the night. All of these, you can see here, here's the 5.0. All of these were coming to, today. All of these earthquakes, all in the Grindavik region. So huge amount of power now coming out of this area, and most of them are occurring again near the Blue Lagoon. So it's very concerning, and some of these earthquakes have even been measured all the way up to Borgarnes. And if we're looking at where this is, so we have Grindavik down here in the corner, and Borgarnes is sort of up towards this area here. So these earthquakes are being felt quite some distance away. Now, with all of this being said, there are now reports that taxi drivers from the Reykjanes Peninsula are ferrying guests, frightened guests from the Blue Lagoon who are afraid of these large earthquakes, and they want to flee the area. And it's been reported in the news and a bunch of other news sites that drivers in the area have been contacted. They pick up the people. They're super emotional. And apparently, as the taxis are pulling up, these people are running to the cars in fear to get away from the hotels that are situated in the Blue Lagoon and subsequent area. There's been cars requested for at least 40 passengers. And you can see it here. And they have been taken to, as you can see, hotels in the Sudnes, which is sort of the Keflavik area near the airport, perhaps, or even down in Reykjavik. Now, there's also reports that these earthquakes have caused some rocks to fall in the lobby of the Blue Lagoon. So, crazy news. I don't blame people for these massive earthquakes are hitting, and you're woken up, and magnitude 5 earthquake with sort of it originating near where you're staying in the Blue Lagoon would be very, very frightening. Not sure what the Blue Lagoon is going to say about this. And a lot of the news that's coming out with the Blue Lagoon, they're basically just saying, we're following all the rules. We're doing what we're told. And the environmental agency and the civil protection, they'll close this down if needed. But there's no need for them to do it. But you can see here, all the news in Iceland is just all about the tremors and the people getting picked up in the Blue Lagoon. See, taxi drivers ferrying guests. So big news coming out of Iceland this morning. If you're in the area, of course, stay safe. If you're going to be heading into Iceland, it's safe to come to Iceland. Don't get me wrong. All of this is situated in an area that is close to the Blue Lagoon. The rest of Iceland is relatively safe. There's, of course, stuff everywhere. But if you're flying into Iceland, you're flying in up here. And then if you're going to the Blue Lagoon, that's the sort of active zone. But if you're going into Reykjavik, you have nothing to worry about. I don't think you should be canceling plans. Perhaps rethink going to the Blue Lagoon. That's one thing. I posted a video on other places that you can go, but definitely Iceland is still amazing. So until next time, I'll definitely keep everyone updated with all of the news. And crazy that people are fleeing the Blue Lagoon after this. And we'll see what they say today about all of this. So thank you so much for watching.